Was that?
Now before you stress up the groove, the energy a little different when the blessings approve. Hey, who you talking to? Just know I ain't no regular fool. Could be anything in the world, but I can never be you because I stand tall like I'm on my tiptoes, baby. You think a little too small? I got big goals, baby. Ain't where the money at? Look, I just need the info. Pronto, I go and get it and split it with my kinfolk daily, and I'm the type of that might change my number on you. Yeah, that's how you react when people took a slumber on you. Pretty brown skin, baby, I can see the summer on you. You see all the bread, and I know it make you wonder, don't you, don't you, don't you? Ooh, I ain't surprised at all. Seen them rise and fall. Went up the mountain, it wasn't hard to climb at all. At the top, I found some relief. I finally.
Hello, all, and welcome to another episode of the Chronicles of a Black Sheep. Tonight, we are talking about mental health. May is Mental Health Awareness Month, so we will do a couple of episodes speaking on mental health to put that awareness out. We will not do it every week, but we do have two segments that we are looking at doing for y'all. So, as usual, my co-host, DW, Mr. Dunaway, and Trouble in the Box, Miss Honey.
Right here, waiting on you.
How y'all doing tonight?
Good, great.
We ready.
Are we? We ready?
Yeah, we ready.
An emoji.
Oh. All right. Well, so opening this door to mental health, we know that last week we spoke on autism, and we had two episodes regarding that. And autism is part of mental health. So, kicking this off, what is mental health?
Winchester, give us a definition.
All right, so I'm not gonna give y'all the book definition, but mental health is actually when you take care of your mental state or the state of your mental, like emotions, behavior, and things of that nature. So when we talk about mental health, those are the things we tend to look at.
Mm-hmm.
True that.
Let me jump in that thing real quick.
Okay.
Let me
go jump in that thing real quick. You're gonna jump in the thing.
Don't do that.
Go ahead.
Don't do that. I'm trying to stay as non-gay for this episode as possible. Okay.
Go ahead.
It's a struggle, but I'm trying. So I want to jump in that thing.
All right, go ahead.
Mental health in the Black community. Why is it a stigma? Why is it so taboo? Why do Black people feel mental health is not important?
Oh, you just gonna go in?
We're gonna go in. Y'all see all the celebrities. We see, Taraji. We see you're so fucking stupid. We see Charlamagne the Guy, and they doing some good work out here. Just letting people know, especially in our community, that it's okay. That therapy is okay. Mental health for our Black men is okay. Mental health for our struggling Black women is okay. So tell me, why is it such a stigma in our community? Somebody tell me something.
Well, I don't want to just like. Okay, since you're going deep, so let's look at it like this. Let's look at it from a historical standpoint. Like, back in slavery days, mental health was looked at. Yeah,
We're going
there. I'm trying to paint a picture to show how we got to where we at. Back in slavery days, if a slave was was aggressive, overly aggressive, things of that nature, or may have been suffering from say a mental illness, they label that as a nigritude. So I'm serious. I'm dead serious.
I'm not talking about your information. I'm talking about your pronunciation. But go ahead.
I know. Hey, I was about to spell it. Let me finish. So, he's what is his name? Benjamin Rush. He's known as the father of American psychiatry, and history. He's a signer of the Declaration of Independence as well. He's the one who coined that term. And the reason why let me finish. I'm trying to build up so you understand why. All right. And the reason why they coined that term is to keep slaves in their spot, in their place, to keep them being subservient. So that's where it starts. So now if we're gonna talk about it, you gotta talk about the history. It's just like we always talking about generational curses. We talking about breaking generational curses. We have to talk about where did it come from. And if you want to fast forward to the 20th century, before civil rights and everything, when it was elitism and classes, it was looked upon that only the people with money can go see a therapist. So who had the money?
What knows?
Exactly. So then it was termed as a white people disease, only white people thing. So when this is like the 40s, 50s, and 60s. So if you look at it, that's not too far. That's not too long ago. So all of this has been pushed down throughout history. That's why it's hard for us as Black people to admit that okay, we got an uncle who just ain't right, who's sitting there talking to God, but he's schizophrenic, or he think everybody after him, or something like that. So that's the first thing I say. That's why.
Okay, so we already have comments coming in tonight. So one of the comments says, I also think for others, they are too afraid to be labeled. It comes with, like a mother possibly losing her kids, or someone needed to be put into a psychiatric facility for having episodes. Another comment also states, some people don't have mental health issues. They are just fucked up people.
So, okay, I'm glad.
Who said that?
Let me ask.
I can't see.
What is a fucked up person? Like,
right, that's what I'm gonna ask.
Yeah. What is a fucked up person? What defines a fucked up person?
Right, because they're different from you. Their views are different from yours. Their actions are different from yours. Their behaviors are different from yours. Like, what is the definition for, that person see it? What is fucked up behavior?
But are we gonna be for real and say that some people aren't just fucked up?
I mean, some people have issues and they may not be necessarily mental.
Let's call it a spade, right? And that's. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say who said it because they wanted to let us know who said it.
I was gonna caveat on what Honey said.
Oh, Nika Pink. Oh, okay. That explains a lot. Okay.
It's funny because I thought it was Francine for real. I thought it was
Francine. Oh, okay. No, Francine.
But go ahead, Anthony.
The comment on a mother having mental health issues and that fear of her having her child picked up or whatever else. I think now and where we're going, people are quick to call CPS on you sneeze wrong, they ready to call on you for just honestly nowadays. Yeah. So I can see that, but you also kind of have to go back over the news where you see where there has been a mother that has drove the car into the ocean, or then drove it off the bridge with her and all the kids, or she done drowned all of them in the bathtub. Mental health is a real thing. And I think that label is a bigger thing, because that label, it scares a whole lot of people when you have, hey, I got depression. And they were like, that's almost saying, oh, I have HIV. Don't do that. Let's be real. They look at depression, mental health issues like it's HIV sentence. Let's be real.
So a person living with that particular disease that you referenced will live longer than somebody suffering from a mental illness.
Exactly.
So you can't compare those two.
Well,
You can't say they acting like, you know, that was a bad analogy. Let's use something else.
I'm sorry, but I'm just saying, when
let's go back
somebody
to the-
does say that they have mental health issues, that's the treatment they get, though. It's like they have HIV. Don't nobody want to be around them. You walk into the room and say you have HIV. How many people you think finna get away from you? That same response.
In 2021, I don't think
I wasn't combining it. What I was saying is the response is the same to that. I believe that's another reason why a lot of people don't say anything.
I don't think it's quite that. I think it's the response with Black people, us particularly, how we look at it. Because in other communities, white people, for example, they take that shit serious. They go to fucking therapy. They put their people in facilities to get help, whether it's inpatient or outpatient. Black people are damn near the only people that will make you feel, you know, just like dog shit if your behavior doesn't align with their beliefs or what they think normal is. That's my question. Why?
Because then like I said in the beginning, it all boils down to what we have been taught, for one. Because like what you just said about the and I'm saying this from knowledge that I got from going to school, being working in the behavioral health field, is in history. Again, I like the history because that teacher tells me how we got to where we at. When we as Black people went to mental health wards and institutions, our treatment was more severe than anybody else. Like somebody else would get medication and stuff. We would get electroshock treatment. We would get sensory deprivation. We would get all of this stuff. And then we got a flip side. The only time when Black people during that time got the opportunity to receive mental health issues was in jail. So you put those two together, of course, folks are gonna be like, okay, only time he gets fixed is if he breaks the law, or they send him to Arkham Asylum and they shot the shit out of him. So are you gonna sit there and say, hey, I got a mental health, I'm depressed, or I'm hearing voices? Fuck no. You're gonna be like, nah, I'm gonna keep this to myself. So we have become maladaptive to that. Like, we're gonna keep all this stuff in house. We're not gonna talk about it. We're just gonna take care of Uncle Jimmy and Uncle Earl on the side and keep him in a room by himself and just feed him 3 hots in a cot.
Okay, I can get with that. But let's fast forward to the last couple of years. Let's just say the last 3 years. There have been a lot of voices. A lot of people using their platform to bring awareness to mental health in the Black community. And I do understand what you're saying and how Black people think. You know, I think it's relative to us taking this COVID vaccine. We don't want to fuck with that either because of history. So I understand exactly what you're saying. But in the last couple of years, there has been so much more information given to us, so many more people that we see taking mental health serious. Now, when I say people, I mean Black people.
Okay. And I hear what you're saying. I really do. I hear what you're saying. But it goes down to three things. The first thing is the culture. Think about it. What do we do? The first thing we do when a child is acting bad.
Holler, they need a spanking.
Exactly. That's the first thing. The second thing, what's the second thing we do as a culture when we see somebody that's not acting like they're supposed to? No. Say they need to be prayed for. We're gonna take them to church to pray for.
Somebody posted that in the comments.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
That's why I was saying, read the comments. Yeah.
And then the third thing is look at everybody who has the platform. They are multi-millionaire individuals.
Yeah.
These are individuals who have the resource, have the money to reach out to somebody. Like, example, Brandon Marshall said this. When he went into to rehab for his behavioral health issues, he's bipolar. It cost him $36,000 just for that. $36,000. Name one person Name one person in your family right now that has $36,000 to blow on that. That's
Okay,
because it's not. No, I'm just saying because it's not covered by insurance. Only specific ones are covered by insurance. Go ahead, Anthony.
Medicaid covers behavioral health. Now you may not go. You may not want to go to the doctor that you want to see. You know, it may be some limitations because I've had Medicaid before during the pandemic. Okay, so it does cover, you know, for you to see a therapist. It does cover for you to see a psychiatrist. But again, you may not get the help you necessarily need. But that's a start.
So why go? If you go for help and you don't get the help you need, why go?
Because it's a starting point. That's just like learning something. You might go to one teacher and they might not teach you the way you need to be taught, but you didn't learn something. You didn't learn the basics. So now you got to find somebody else that can help you along the way.
Okay.
But that is a resource. And you saying those people that's using these platforms, like these celebrities, have all these thousands of dollars and all these resources. Yes, they do. Their job is not to give you the money for you can go. Their job is to let you know, shine light on it. It's okay to have it. It's okay to reach out on your own and find help. It may not be at their doorstep, but it's letting them know, you know what, there's somebody that look like me that's going through this too. And it's okay. That's their job.
And I appreciate that. But it's a lot of people out there that say the same thing, like, oh, it's okay. But if all of us are hurting and all of us are lost and we don't know the fuck to go, one thing we do know is it's okay. So we all gonna sit here and suffer, but we know it's okay. So how is that helping anybody?
First of all, I feel like
because everybody can't out there
help yourself. Say what?
And everybody can't. She said sometimes you got to help yourself, but everybody don't have those resources. Same thing as a lot of insurance plans now do not cover mental health either.
Mine don't.
Or the medication. And somebody also said in the comments that mental health issues pings you to where you can't get life insurance policies.
Yes, some of them do. Some of them do. You're right.
Or they have limitation on visits.
Mm-hmm.
So then let me ask. So with all of that going on, do we think that it is beneficial to admit having mental health issues? Because again, like the question was, how come it's a stigma in the Black community, and we're naming off all shit ton of reasons. Can't get insurance. Insurance don't cover it, or you only get like 5 visits. You can't get life insurance. It's all these other reasons to why people in the Black community don't do it. So
those are good reasons. I mean, I'm not gonna say good. Those are realistic reasons. Mm-hmm. But I feel like yes, we're going to be knocked down. We're going to have a lot of different obstacles that other races don't have, or people with more money don't have. But that don't mean stop. When you know you have a problem and you see somebody that look like you that's telling you it's okay, I got that same problem, help is out there. If you have the mental capability or functionality to get online, research, find you some help. The help might not be readily available, and it might not even be fucking advertised. Period. There are places here locally where I live at that don't even advertise that they help people with mental illness. You can't even find it on the fucking internet. Well, you can find it, but it's not displayed.
So then again, like these are the reasons why.
The reasons are that it's not right in our face. The reasons are because look, for example, T's child has autism. Uh-huh. She needed resources. They were not readily available to her. She had to fucking work, dig, shovel for a year or two to find it. But she knew something was wrong with her child. She knew she needed help. She didn't stop because it was obstacles. She kept fucking going. So if you need help, if you acknowledge that you need help, or you acknowledge that there's somebody that you know, your family, whatever, that need help, help them.
So that goes back. Yeah. So then, what if they don't know? What if they don't know they family?
They may not know, but you may see the signs.
No, what if you don't know?
Okay, that's different.
Let's be real. You said within the last couple of years, it's been a lot of folks come out about mental health, right? Prior to that, mental health in the Black community. Prior to that, nobody talked about it. It was a quiet, kept secret. So that's just like finding oil in the last couple of years and talking about, oh, we got enough oil to last for the rest of our life. No, you just found this shit. You just figured out, oh, this is the problem. This is what's going on. So it's new in the community. Like now we're talking about it, and then I don't like to do this because that's a whole nother episode. But then you have people in high places talking about you need to. That's just the devil, or he got demons in him, and this and that and this and that, and they're countering everything that somebody else is saying. So you have an individual who's suffering, who's hurting, trying to find a way out, just trying to find peace, just trying to feel good, not even good, just trying to be normal. And they got two conflicting things. Who you gonna believe? Who they gonna believe? Somebody with a whole bunch of goddamn money who got the money, or the church or the pastor that they've been? Or I ain't want to say pastor. The person that the leader that they've been listening to all their damn life. So and it's Go ahead, and I saw your hand. My bad.
All right, no doubt. What I wanted to do is the last comment.
Yes,
here.
I was going to go there.
I have a member who is seeing a cardiologist. I want to speak on that because that is exactly what I went through, not last year, but the year before last. I was having what I found out now to be severe anxiety panic attacks. And I remember the last one I had, I was walking through, this is going to be funny, walking through Costco with a basket full of liquor. And in my head, I'm like, yo, like, it was triggered. It was triggered by me. Damn, did I spend too much on this liquor? Because every time I go to my buddy's house, I restock their bar. And in the midst of all of that happening, it's like someone took their hand and reached into my chest and just started squeezing. So I'm going back and forth to the doctor. And I already have a heart ailment. So to me, it's serious. Because if you hook me up to an EKG machine right now, it's going to say he's having a heart attack. And you're going to watch everybody
go crazy,
freak out. And I'm like, no, here's my paperwork. Look, that's how my heart beats. This is the paperwork from the last doctor. Like, that's just me. Like, I'm having a heart attack right now, and you wouldn't even know it, but that's just my rhythm. We have to, I think, going along with what Honey said in reference to what T does, which is to research what's going on, to see what you're entitled to. I'm a union rep, and for a long time, I was fighting for keeping our mental health stuff in place, which was a lot of us were, oh no, we don't need that. I don't have a problem. But now since our corporation got rid of that part of the mental health and just we get to go talk to somebody, because we once upon a time, my job would cover 2/3 of whatever it was that you were going to go see. And then you would have to pay the 1/3. So you could be a Brandon Marshall and get that, maybe pay 10 racks opposed to the whole 30 rack to go see a specialist. But because when we don't know, which I knew, and I was like, no, fight for it, I didn't, a lot of them voted against it. So now all we get is 6 visits. And a lot of times if you have that type of benefit like I have with mental health, you can talk to your therapist and say, okay, you know what? We finished our 6, but along with that 6 that we finished, we discovered a new issue. So we're going to need another new 6. And that's how you keep on, what am I trying to say? Manipulate or pimp the system, right, honey?
No, not pimp the system, but you using a system to benefit you. So, oh, never mind. Go ahead. Because I got so.
Let me look at the comments. The last comment we see in there. Black folks gonna listen to the church. Yes, they are.
That's Miss Pink.
And then I'm glad they said that, because this is what I'm gonna ask you. How many people on this panel right here have some type of college or some type of post high school education. Okay, now the people that we're talking about, the ones that we're worried about, are the individuals who only have high school or GEDs. These are the individuals that are not being proactive when it comes to reaching out for behavioral health. These are the individuals that we're talking about. They're going to listen to who has the easiest answer, which is pray.
Yeah.
Or they're going to
tell you to pray now.
Yeah, or they're going to sit there and wait for somebody to tell them, hey, you need to do A, B, C, and D in order to get what you need. Like, and again, like, I'm not knocking what they're doing. I really appreciate they bringing a spotlight on it, but they're not spotlighting the mass. I don't even want to say the majority. A lot of the individuals that are suffering, they're really honestly suffering in silence. Like,
Yeah.
Other thing too is we have been taught to self-medicate. We as a Black community have been taught to self-medicate because just listen, growing up, what you used to hear everybody say, hey man, on Friday, I'm gonna go get me a 6-pack, I'm gonna go get this weed, I'm gonna go get this whatever. And I'm gonna go ahead and sit back and knock the edge off of this week. It's been a fucked up week. I'm gonna go get fucked up. That's self-medication. They're using that as a coping mechanism. And is it good? No. Does it help? No. Does it get them to the next week? Yes. And so they're gonna keep doing it.
Yeah, I agree with that. Black people do self-medicate. They do. They will drink their problems away or attempt to. But when you get sober, them problems still there.
Yeah,
they gonna smoke.
But see, that's the thing. Again, that goes back to, honey, you're rational. Like, you're seeing that. You see that once you finish drinking, your problem is still there. They don't see that.
I understand.
It's a cycle that they keep doing. It like I made it to Monday, man. I gotta go to this motherfucking job Monday, man. Come Friday, they doing the same shit. Oh shit.
You're right.
Sometimes at 5 o'clock that night. 5 o'clock that evening on that Monday, they sitting there, hey, I'm finna get blowed. And that's how. Yeah, go ahead.
You self-medicating. Now you mentioned, people smoke, people drink. Now, a lot of people, not just the Black community, marijuana helps more than it hurts.
Yeah. Oh no.
Yeah, some people are addicted to it. They love it. But
those are the individuals I'm talking about. The ones who it doesn't help. They're just smoking to be smoking.
Yeah, they just smoking to be smoking. But if somebody is suffering from a certain mental illness, different strains of marijuana can help them, and it's going to be 100% better for their bodies than these goddamn pills and shit. These doctors are going to put them on. That does it quicker.
Hello.
There you go.
And then here's the funny part. They used to use ecstasy for PTSD.
Oh shit.
Yeah. They used to use ecstasy for PTSD. But somebody said it too. Somebody said it in the comments too. Here's the other thing that kind of fucks us up as a people. We don't like to talk.
Oh yeah, it's in the comments.
We don't like to talk.
Yeah, but it ain't just the talking. The comment was made.
That's what I was going to say.
Another thing, especially to new people that you don't know. But you have to remember, back in the day, it was what happened in this house. In this house.
All day.
Don't tell them people outside this house my business, because I don't want them people coming through my house. That ain't nobody business. We're gonna deal with it in here. And that's where the prayer come in, and you getting baptized in hot oil and all the other stuff. But how many people can say that worked?
None. Because after you dry all them other problems still there. After you leave church and eat and go and come and wake it back up after that nap, them goddamn problems still there.
Yeah, but then we got better at masking those issues, and that's where a lot of our drug shit. Why you think crack hit so hard? It wasn't
Because
because
the white people
it
put it
wasn't.
in our communities.
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't that.
No.
If we found something that helped us escape,
Oh yes,
that's why
that's
crack
true.
hit so hard. If we found something that helped us at that moment, gave us such a high that all the racism, all the shit that we were dealing with mentally went away. And that's why it's so addictive, because at that one time, it didn't. I got family. I know people who are crack addicts, and it says it's that one step from heaven, and that's what they're searching for.
Oh.
I ain't never been that high before.
Man.
Me neither.
I don't think I want to be that high.
No, I ain't never been high, so I'm good on that note. But I ain't ready to get that close to heaven until it's my time.
You look.
My time.
So let me ask y'all this.
Yeah.
So, okay, we kind of, in a roundabout way, understand and agree why it's such an issue and a stigma in the Black community. So let me reposition the conversation and ask you this. Now, this is a conversation I had, about mental health and about misdiagnosing. Somebody mentioned in the comments, being misdiagnosing, and you talked about it.
Yes.
So let me ask this. What if these people who, they believe they're suffering from mental illness, whatever it may be, they get the chance to go to the doctor. The doctor sees them, they diagnose them with the issue, they put them on drugs, and now they're medicated. Okay? What if they don't even have the issue that the doctor has diagnosed them with, but they're taking all this medication? Okay? I think for some people, some of us that are aware that mental illness, is in the Black community, and we need to, go ahead and take the steps of getting help. Sometimes it gets pushed on us, and they might not necessarily have an issue that medicine can fix. I'm gonna use this as an example. I was diagnosed as a child with a mood disorder. Okay. As I got older, I was on various different medications. Okay. The medication I was taking at one time, once I got off of it, I have a probably lifelong tic. My body has just involuntary movements whenever it wants to, especially in my neck, in my arms, like in my extremities on my right side. It's uncontrollable. So they would tell me, you need to take your medicine, you need to take this dosage, you need to, follow it, be in your system for 3 months, don't just get off of it. They tell you all this because I have a mood disorder. Then they diagnosed me as being bipolar mania 1. That's what I had. I got off my medicine at one point for 1 year. I never had an episode. Bipolar, by definition, is a chemical imbalance that makes you have, severe mood swings. There is no trigger externally. It's just that chemical imbalance in your head can go from point A to point B, 0 to 100 in 2.5 seconds with no external stimuli. I get off this medication that's supposed to help that balance that chemicals. I never had an issue. I have not had an issue since. A person that has a chemical imbalance that they're saying this is a biological issue, you just have it. It's not like you can grow out of it. They don't wake up one day and be healed. They don't wake up one day and just, you ain't got it no more, like chickenpox. So I was medicated from a child up until 20, because I ain't but 21. Up until that time. So, but what I'm saying is to say this. Why was I diagnosed? Why was I put on this medication? Why was I lining the doctor's pockets, the pharmaceutical pockets? But as soon as I get off of it and learn to help myself and have somebody help me, which is somebody in my life, help me understand that maybe I didn't have that diagnosis. Maybe I just needed therapy. Therapy works way better than all that medicine shit that was pumping in my system. I got all kind of motherfucking side effects from that medication. So what if we just being pushed to see these doctors and they pumping us with all this motherfucking shit that's gonna kill us before it helps us?
And that adds to the reluctancy of the Black people the Black community to go seek help, because like what you just said, like if I'm gonna go see somebody and the first thing they're gonna do is give me drugs, what the fuck I'm gonna go? I could go to Ray Ray and get me a ounce and be straight. So it's yeah. It's the same. It's along the same lines, but I feel you. And then here's the other thing too: being on the side of dealing with, like working in the behavioral health field, there is a such thing as burnout. There is a such thing as provider burnout, and not saying it is an excuse, but it's sometimes providers don't know they're burnt out, so they're just going through the motions. They're just going through the motions. Okay, this person, the last person I had similar symptoms. So versus sitting down and getting to know you or getting to understand what you're going through, we're going to give you the same track as somebody else, and we're going to put you on the same track, and not knowing that yours is not as bad as the other individual, but just because y'all got a similar symptom, we're going to put you on the same track. And then the flip side of that, and I know I'm gonna piss a lot of people off when I say that. Say this one.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody in the behavioral health field should not be in the behavioral health field.
Oh yeah.
Everybody who's a counselor or psychiatrist, psychologist, whatever, should not be there, because their issues will transfer onto that patient. So because a psychologist, psychiatrist, whatever, is ignorant to say a certain demographic, they'll just label you. Okay, I'm gonna use you for example, honey. They'll see you. Oh, we got a young black female who's acting out. Oh, she's bad. We're just gonna give her medication for ADHD, or we're gonna medicate her to get her balance so she'll calm down or she'll slow down. That's why it's been a big push for Ritalin, and it's not just in our community; it's across the board, and it's easier and more. Well, it's threefold. It's easier. You can see more people, which generate more money.
Mm-hmm.
So it's easier for me because it'll take, like, if I was a licensed provider, it'll probably take me 15, 20 minutes to see you, diagnose you, get you high. Well, excuse me, get you medication.
Bad. You said it right the first time.
And then set you up for the next appointment. So if you break it down, I could see 4 people. Well, I could see 3 people in 1 hour versus taking the hour that we're supposed to and getting to know you as a person. Like what are your struggles? What are you dealing with? Because I believe 9 times out of 10 that if we actually slow down as in the behavioral health field and get to know individuals, a lot of the misdiagnosis, a lot of the individuals who are suffering from mild depression, stuff like that, we can talk them through that, and we can focus more on individuals who suffer from the major stuff like schizophrenia, bipolar, and all that stuff. Even with bipolar, you can talk a bipolar person through their episodes versus when you feel like you're out of control, you take this medication. So and
you
like
can
you
talk
said,
them out of them episodes, but talk therapy or therapy is not going to be available to you 24/7. If a person really has bipolar, their chemicals are really imbalanced. They need their meds.
I understand that. I understand that part. But it's like, and that goes back to the like 24-hour hotlines and shit like that. But that's a whole nother conversation. What's up, Ant? Go ahead.
I think and I hear everyone speaking about the professional individuals in this field, and for me, what's come to mind is just the typical person. You, honey, the people in the comments. When we see something in our neighborhood, and I mean a person, do we ever take into account that that our label that we put on them also contributes to that? Like Lil Ray Ray and Boom Boom down the street, they may be badass kids, as we say, but if we constantly say, hey, those bad kids, and they hear that. And now they believe that, oh shit,
Yeah.
bad. And what today we see in the media is kind of glorified to be bad. You know, it's glorified to be what am I trying to say? To say I'm this, because I dealt with that. Like my cousins when I growing up, they used to call me lunatic because I did weird shit every once in a while. And once I went and looked up that definition in the dictionary, I was like, oh shoot, yeah, I want to be that. But as I grew older and I started noticing, I said the most dismissive thing you can do is put a label on a person, opposed to saying, hey, what's going on with them? There's a lady that's actually the bus stop down the street from my house. I'll go sit and talk to her in the morning sometime to have coffee with her. And she told me her story. And I think we get so really just, you know, going about to say, hey, go see a therapist. But we ourselves, in my opinion, can be someone's therapist. Because all it takes is for you to just sit there and listen to a person. And that's
I don't know, because we'll give personal advice versus medical advice.
I didn't say advice. I said listen.
Yeah, we can listen, but
and sometimes that's all that's what people need. And I'm not saying this is going to help with somebody that's manic depressive or bipolar and suffers from schizophrenia and all this other type of stuff. But just like amongst us, like if I'm like, hey man, honey, always tripping.
That's true though.
Sometimes facts, but sometimes it's like, how many times of each of you guys outside of our group have I hit somebody one-on-one? Or be like, hey, what's going on? Or, you know, I tease Dario about his neck. You know, like I do it to your face. And then that's my like I explain to people all the time, the more I make fun of you, the more I love you, the more I adore you. You know, but then it goes, that's my introduction. And after that, then we get to the steak and the potatoes of what's going on. Because I feel amongst us common people, it's starting to no longer to be trendy, but it's becoming a staple in our life to say, hey, you know what? We do need to get help. And I think among Black men to see Brandon Marshall, Fred Taylor, Chad Ochocinco Johnson, and the light bright almost white dude on
Channing Crowder.
Yeah. We see those guys, them guys, we see them talking. So now it's like, oh shoot, hey, it ain't so bad. Maybe I can go talk to somebody, you know? And for us, and as Black men, I think that also the other stigma is, hey, we aren't allowed to, and Black women possibly can go through this too, along with she's a strong Black woman, that title that's put on them. Because who we are, because we show so much strength and so much grit and endurance that, oh, they got it covered. But you need to also check up on your strong friends. They go through stuff too.
That part.
Bitch, I check on you. Don't start. Don't start.
I don't want to be strong. I want to just lay down.
We take for granted. And when we're talking about this mental health, and we also have to include the day-to-day stuff, that struggles that we all go through, along with what people legit suffer from. You know, there's some people, and for lack of better words, that are crazy. But like I said, that's the most dismissive title you can put on somebody, because you're not saying that you're trying to understand them. It's just like, oh, they crazy, you know. But they're probably not crazy. They're probably saying, hey, fucking help me. I need help.
Yeah.
We don't understand that.
Right.
Wait. What about this? Do you think it's not because that? Do you think it could be because they're afraid? Like if somebody's reaching out to you for help, is it possible that the individual that they're reaching out to is afraid, like because they don't know what to do, two, they're afraid of what the possible outcome could be. Like if you have a person that's very depressed and potentially suicidal, that scares a lot of people, because one, especially if it's somebody close to you. One, you feel like, damn, what can I do to keep this individual from doing something to themselves? Two, you start to question, like, am I able to keep this individual from doing something to themselves, and then 3, that fear, like if they do complete it, like damn, I myself couldn't help somebody else from taking their own life. So how can I sit here and cope with it? Because that's a additional stressor. Because if somebody's talking to you and you don't understand and you just sitting there listening, you're like, oh fuck, what can I say? And especially if it's somebody who doesn't do it all the time, that'll throw people for a loop. Because if an individual gets to that point and they're like if they just break down,
right,
and you never saw them broke down, you like, oh shit, it's a shock to everybody.
T, I think I cried one time with T on the phone or video, and this bitch almost, I don't, if y'all could have seen her facial expression, or if her thoughts could have played out on TV, like you see the little bubble pop out, like her face was damn near terrified. Because I never cry. So when she saw that, she didn't know what the fuck to do. And she got advice 24/7. And she saw that, just like you said, you start thinking, if I couldn't help this person, and you know, how can I help myself? I've never seen her that frightened before.
Yeah,
I was very caught off guard, like extremely. And I was like, it's raining on your face. Like, do this. I was like, do this. I was like, is those real? Like, she kind of blew me, and I'm like, okay, this a G. I'm gonna call her G. Because anybody know her, she hard, she always this. She ain't never like really relaxed. She's always like gangster. She don't believe in feelings and emotions. And when you see that person that you know is always that strong or always very vocal, and you see this person cry, you like,
and yeah, and that's another thing too. Like it goes back to like the families. It goes back to the family units and everything. Like if you see your parents or your father or the strong person in your life break down, the fuck that does that messes with your psyche. So people start to tend to, okay, I can't be like that individual, or they see a person break down and see how everybody else around them treats that individual. So they're like, okay, I can't be like that. Like, because let's be honest, we have been conditioned that crying is a weakness. We have been conditioned that
we're not going to talk about that tonight.
I know, because it's part of mental health. It's part of mental health. Because for when you cry, it's because you're in pain. You got tears of joy, but when you get that ugly cry, that Miss Silly cry, that's when you know people in pain. And we have been conditioned not to show that. And if somebody shows that, oh, he's weak or they're weak.
Okay, so I never thought you was weak when you cried, honey. I did.
Man, listen, during we touching too close now. You get off of me.
I'm finna help you out, honey. I'm finna help you out. I'm finna pick you up. What people don't realize is that the individual who's crying is the strongest individual at that time, because one, they're acknowledging their feelings. 2, they're showing vulnerability, and 3, they're still standing. So that motherfucker, that person who's sitting out trying to keep that straight face, they're crumbling. They're crumbling inside, and they're just hollow. But the individual who's sitting there crying, showing their emotions, and still standing, that's a motherfucking warrior. That's the one people should be looking at, because they're not.
To hit on some of the comments.
Thank you, because I'm off and go. Can you go back up to Bobby, please?
Can I go up to where?
Can you address Bobby and his 21 issue? Can you please address that?
What do you want me to address?
Oh, he's talking about because she ain't 21. I don't know what she talking about. 21 times 2.
I wasn't even going to entertain that, but we all know better, Bobby. We all know what it is.
Yeah.
So this is actually from Jennifer. She said that's where the problem lies. Providers cannot do that dealing with mental health. And I see that all the times as a psych nurse. I can have 3 patients diagnosed with depression. I'm not going to approach them the same way because everyone's lifestyle is different. And medication-wise, there are patients for whatever reason, cannot get on board with learning positive coping skills without medication. And they do need medication, but that needs to be tailored to each individual.
Yeah.
Exactly.
The doctors, yeah. So that's what
Exactly.
she mentioned, and it's true. Everybody is different. What works for me may not work for Honey. What works for Honey may not work for Ant, because Ant gonna need his medication with some snacks. So it's on the person, but everybody can't be, treated the same. Bobby also commented that he does have a family member that has the same same diagnosis, has that type of bipolar as where Honey was diagnosed with. So yeah. And somebody also said old school remedies do not help mental illness. It's such a taboo thing with Black folks. Alcohol actually makes it worse. That's why it's called.
But see, that's the thing. But that's the thing. Let's like, that's why I keep taking it back to history. I keep taking it back to history, because you have to look at where a lot of this is embedded. We keep talking about, oh, why do we do this in the Black community? Why do we do this in the Black community? Let's address it. Let's call a spade a spade. Let's open up the whole motherfucking Pandora's box. Look at what the Black community has been through. Look at everything that we have been through. We had to fight just to be acknowledged as a person. We had to fight to vote. Fuck. I mean, we got people coming over here from other countries who got rights before we did, basically. So as a community, when it comes to where we at, we had to deal with stuff in-house. But then also with the resources were divided. Like, we're not gonna give everything we're not gonna get everything that everybody else got. Just to be blunt, we're not gonna get everything that everybody else got. So in the community, we decided, okay, this is how we're gonna deal with mental health. First of all, I guarantee they didn't know what mental health was. They didn't understand what mental health was. And the ones that did understand what mental health, they were the educators and the educated people, I should say. And they were made a push for it. But again, if individuals don't know, it's gonna fall on deaf ears. If people don't understand, it's gonna fall on deaf ears. So the community that we're talking about that has that stigma is the individuals who don't have access to the higher education, who don't have access to the resource, who don't understand like chemical imbalance, who don't understand it's okay to not be okay. They feel like
that part.
From our generation to our kids, grandkids, and our offspring, our ancestors going forward, there should be no hiding and no taboo in the Black community when it comes to mental health. Okay, you have provided us the history as to why we got to, let's say, our parents' generation. That is, and like I said, in a roundabout way, we all agree that's why it's so taboo. Okay, but from our generation going forward, there should not be a taboo in the Black community when it comes to mental health.
Okay, why?
Because now, going from our generation forward, one, we're more educated. Two, there's so many resources available. We've got the internet. There's so many resources available for us to research to figure out where these other resources are, that we should be able to figure out how to get the care that we need. Now, there may be a financial barrier, but we have the resources. So what I'm saying, I can see what the problem was back then, but as of right now, a lot of these problems should start to dissolve. And I also want to touch on what the psych nurse, Jennifer out there, she noted about learning positive coping techniques and skills. We talked about them putting us on medication because the doctors don't want to do their job. But we also need to take responsibility and say, you know what? They may or may not, give me what I need. Let me figure out also how to help myself. We do need to take that responsibility and learn how to cope. Now, I'm just saying, if what we're going through, if what they have diagnosed us with is able to be coped with whatever outside, skills and stuff. Because schizophrenia, I don't think that can be coped with no talk therapy. Or multiple personality disorder.
No.
That's gonna take a little bit more. That ain't gonna work with just no outside or no impersonal, interpersonal resources. But we do need to help ourselves.
So I have a question. Go ahead, Anthony.
And excuse me, for me personally, to piggyback off of what you're saying, honey, I think, yes, I do agree with you about the severe cases of mental health. And also, I think we have to reiterate and focus on day-to-day mental health.
That's what I was about to say. Yeah.
I think some things can be as simple as us checking out for each other, which is simple as, hey, black man, hey, black woman, how are you? Because we walk around here like honeydew. We be all on diesel. Yeah. Like, hey,
we're not going to do this.
That's because I love you, honey. You my sister.
Oh, that's what it is. Okay.
But we got to get that DNA test first. But you feel what I'm saying? Like, there's just, like I said, that thing where I can walk past Duriel in California and I'll be, oh, what's going on, man? What you mean? Pardon my French. What you mean?
Yeah.
I just got
you're right. Or you get that meme mug and I'm just like, hey, I'm just saying hi. Like,
I didn't even mean it that way. I just hey, what's going on? Like with me, I referee and people look at me weird and I'm like, hey, how's it going, family? What's going on?
Yeah.
Huh? Oh yeah, it's good. And the more that we do that and we make it the norm for us, the more that we'll be able to chill out. And then we can say, hey, you know what? I feel comfortable talking to you about my issues. Hey, you got a second? You seem real cool. What you think about this? I got this problem. Like, I know I can go to each of y'all right there in our group and say, hey, man, I'm dealing with this. I can go to each of them like, you know what? When I was going through my divorce, this would happen. And I'm different in the sense I don't care what people think about me, but I want to know what somebody thinks about the situation so that I can take them and make it a relevant to my life. Those are things I'm always open to learning, and I'm always open to a better me. Like I take what I need and I discard of the rest. And I know who I am, but then I'm also not aware of things that I can't see that I'm not aware of. And that's why I have those conversations. And if you say, like, man, sometimes, dude, you look like your boogers smell. And I'm like, huh? I'm not gonna get offended.
Oh my God.
I'm gonna say I use comedy sometimes to, my point. But hey, what do you mean? That's gonna be my next question. I'm not like, what is that? And that's things we have to start getting away from, where I feel that we should stop being so easily offended, in our day-to-day stuff, and just check each other out.
But to jump on that too, like, I think that you hit on something when you first started talking about it. It's like when you're talking to somebody and you say, hey, what's up, black man, or whatever, and they come back at you with some aggression, that could be the reason. And now I'm thinking about it, it could be the reason why we as a people don't talk to each other, because you don't want to expose yourself to an individual and they weaponize it and they flip it back on you. You know what I mean? And then you also end up having an individual judge you. But what that is, and that's what I tell people when I tell them to go, they need to go talk to somebody. When you talk to somebody, that's an individual who's just there to listen. They're not biased. They don't know shit about you. They care about you, but not to the point where they're gonna be like, well, I think you should leave him, girl, and all this other shit. They're just gonna like, listen, okay, now how do you feel? That type of stuff. But yeah.
So I have a question because it came up in a couple. Pretty much each one of y'all stated something close to that. So we talked about our strong friends, checking on our strong friends, just even checking on your friends. So how many of y'all can actually say that y'all know the people in your circle, for one, and even family members? How many of y'all can actually say that y'all know who has mental health issues?
Oh,
I know some in my family, and you know my close friends that have something that falls under the mental health umbrella. Do I check on them regularly? No, I don't.
Yeah.
Why?
Gotten better.
Why don't you?
I completely forget. It doesn't never cross my mind. I know that sounds horrible. That's a horrible thing to say, but I don't fucking think about it.
But that's another facet. Yeah, and that's another facet of it. It's not like you don't care. It's just that
No.
you have a lot going on in life, in your life, and so it's
it's completely an oversight. But once I link up, with my cousin, I talked to my cousin today, and once we link up, we start talking, and just shooting the breeze or whatever, and something comes up that evolves in mental health or whatever they or me may be going through. Then that's when we start touching on, oh, wait a minute, how you been? What you doing to work on that? Blah blah blah. So in that case, it comes up, but like on a regular basis, just checking on friends and family. No, I don't check on them. I think just my personality, the way I am, if I start like reaching out, and I did this test, this was the actual test. I have reached out to my friends and be like, hey, I just want to tell you I love you. Them who damn near did a goddamn, what you call it when the police comes to your house and check on you? What is that? A wellness check? Yeah, they damn near sent the police out here to do a damn wellness check on me because I'm just not that, I don't show that type of affection to my friends like that. Don't touch me now. I don't like to touch. Put your hands on me.
Now what? Hey, wait. Well, then how come? We all right. I'm gonna put you on the spot now. We all know you. We all know you. You's a gangster teddy bear. We already know.
I am. I'm very loving.
You a gangster teddy bear. You like you're a true epitome of a bear because you all look cuddly and everybody want to touch you, but the moment they cross you, you finna tell the lining out their ass. Why is it a shock for you to express your feelings to people?
I do, to a certain extent, express my feelings to my friend. If they tell me they love me, I will tell them I love them back.
So why won't you initiate it? And I'm asking because the reason why I'm asking because I'm looking for why I do the same thing. Mm-hmm. It's hard for me it's very, 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 very hard for me to express how I feel. In relationship after relationship, everybody say the same thing. Like, I can't read you. I don't know how you feeling and stuff like that because I don't show.
Oh my God.
I don't show it. So
I tell my child, I tell my girl, I tell my parents. I will tell. I do tell my crew, my Fab Four that I grew up with. We tell each other we love each other all the time. You
love me, honey.
That's complicated.
That's complicated. Yes. For the most part, overall, if you're looking for an overall picture, then I'll say yes. But I wouldn't initiate it. I don't know why. I'm just, I don't know. I honestly don't know, to be honest with you. If I told T that, wellness check. I don't know. I don't know why I initiate. What's up, man?
I'm reading.
Yeah, and I don't know why, because I have done 10 years now, and I don't even get that love. And also, there's some comments from an April that says, tell her. And she says, why, honey? She said, but it's deeper. There's a reason why you have a hard time with it. Dig deeper.
Damn, sound like you need to go lay down on the couch.
Oh, okay. Go what you were saying that?
Okay, I'm gonna bail you out on this one.
I appreciate it.
Why
I'm looking at Rodney Dunn.
Hey, Rodney.
And I'm going to be the devil's advocate to this one, what some of he's been saying,
Okay.
because what he's saying is like, it's hard to open up with a person. But I feel, and it's taken me a long time to get to where I'm at in life. And I say there's, to a certain extent, I have a default of respect I give you, which is a respect of you being a human being before you're anything else in life. I look at you as a human being, you know? And if I see Rodney walking down the street, I'm going to say, hey, what's up? How many times have someone said to you, hey, what's up? How you doing? And you in honey mode. And then you're like, oh, I know. I love you though, honey. And when they say, hey, what's up? And they ask you how you're doing, and it's like a burden is taken off you. Like for me, my mental health lies in being upfront and transparent with people. Because when you deal with these aggressions, I appreciate you, Rodney. When you deal with these aggressions internally, it's not good for you. I speak from experience. I speak from laying down on the leather couch telling somebody my issues.
Y'all stressing me.
I'm sorry, honey. Here, virtual hug. You ready, Teddy Bear time?
Don't touch me.
I'm not touching you. It's virtual. It's virtual. You know, that's because but it's funny that you say that, Rodney, because I love being down south. And the reason I love being down south, because I feel like I can say what's up to another man, black man, somebody that looks like me, and I get that reciprocated because, of course, I'm from California.
Until you hit that Dallas County line, then you ain't gonna get that back.
Yeah, and I, you know, even with Southern, like, you know, we deal with the pigmentless people. At least I know they're not messing with me, and I can.
Which is,
what?
That's another whole.
So, okay, there's a comment. It says, I'm considered a strong individual. I have a few that I trust in my circle, and I came up with a whole password. If I call one of them and say it off the rip, they know that means just listen, no opinions needed right now. I love that.
Good. That's
what's
I'm
up.
taking that idea.
I love that.
That is a good idea to have with, you know, family and friends. I have that. Me and Bay have that in our relationship. A safety word that means, hey, you know, I'm serious. Let's be clear, you know, whatever. But that is a dope idea to have it with friends and family, to just say, hey, you know, if I hit you and I say, you know, coconut.
Watermelon.
Yeah, you know.
But you can't use pineapples. Pineapples is a whole
different. You can't use pineapples. Yeah, that's something.
Pineapples get you in trouble.
Absolutely.
It really be
so I absolutely love that idea. I love the idea of, you know, therapy. And yes, you know, a lot of the reason why people have that, you know, tough exterior, and it could be childhood trauma. It could be trauma, something that happened in their life to make them, you know, have that. You know, unfortunately, me and Duriel are very similar when it comes to that. You know, I am a very affectionate person, but I don't want you to touch me. I need to be able to. I first got to let you, you know, in there in my space. But if you hug me, I will give you one. I'm back.
Oh my God.
One per
So
visit.
let me ask y'all this. Does how the provider looks play a role in it?
I'm gonna say yes.
This is what I'm saying. Because I've heard this multiple times in the profession, working in the profession, and from people who have went to go talk to people. They say they don't trust it because the individual. Cause I'm gonna just be blunt. Because as a white person trying to talk to a black person about black problems, and they're not understanding the things that are consider black problems.
Now, I agree with that, because on an episode, I watched the show This Is Us. I freaking love that show. In that show, Randall is a black male that was adopted by a white family. So the issues that they're having at this point is, even though he loved his white family and appreciative of them for adopting him, they could not relate to his black problems growing up. So when he goes through this episode of finding a therapist to help him, he went to white people. Tried them first. He tried them first before he went black. They could not relate to him. So he went and found a black therapist that could relate to those black problems and also the problems he was facing as a black man. So I agree with that.
So could that be one of the reasons why there's not a lot of black people seeking therapy, or is that?
Yeah. How many black doctors and black therapists do we really have?
Right. I
Official,
mean, we don't have a whole lot of them.
Official, or are you talking about like, yeah?
I'm gonna say, okay, let me back that up. I'm gonna say, how many black doctors and therapists do we have that care and is not just diagnosing or trying to get that check?
All right, they about to send the FBI after you. You better shut up.
I've been to therapists all my life. I've never seen one black therapist. I've never seen one black psychiatrist. I've never seen one black psychologist. Period.
Really? Well,
Not
I guess
one.
I'm different because I work in the field.
Yeah.
I agree. There's not a lot. However, I have seen. Shit. Hold on. Wait. I've seen one black psychiatrist, and I've seen 5 black psychologists, and that's working in the field for 19 years.
That's crazy.
Wow.
That's and I think you're right. I think you hit the nail on the head when you said that may be part of the reason why us as a community may not seek it at a minimum therapy, because we want someone that can understand us.
Yeah.
And we don't have that.
Yeah, Now I'm talking about it. Now I'm thinking about it. Yeah.
And what you have
You
to
gotta
say?
say
Let me clarify. I'm not laughing at nobody, but I'm laughing at this episode Rodney was talking about. I saw that episode.
Yes, I did too.
And I'm sorry. I don't want nobody to think I'm being insensitive or whatever the word is. I probably just made up a word, but that's why I'm laughing. That episode was hilarious.
Shit, we thought is you crying? What's wrong with you?
I am.
Yeah, we're about to give you a virtual hug.
No, we wasn't. We wasn't gonna do that. But
come on, Rick James.
Well, we know you ain't gonna.
Honey, I don't need one from you until I get
good,
my
good. That's
Hey, honey,
great
give you a
idea.
dap. She like, all right, dog.
Bobby said his sister's about to graduate with her doctorate. That's what's up.
That's what's up. Hey,
And someone that grew up with got there
do it
ago.
Yeah,
That's
as soon as
what's
they
up.
do it, we need to like pub them up, like start going to see them.
My
And then that's the
cousin
other thing too.
is a psychiatrist.
And that's what I'm saying. That's the other thing too. Like we need to start pushing people to go to school for this type of stuff. Like individuals who have a gift, a knack for being that caring person. We need to say, hey, we need you in this field. We need you on the front lines when it comes to behavioral health. Because again, if they don't know about it, or if it's taboo, or if everybody's going away from it, then we still gonna be in the same situation we're in now.
Mm-hmm. And that's true, April. There are becoming more black therapists and doctors that are coming up right now. So that is true. I am seeing that even here in San Antonio in a black group that we have, and they're posting more. That they're.
But here's the thing, though, and here's the other thing too. Like she said, mostly women. How, and that's another another question too. Like why aren't we men, like me and Anthony, going down that field? Like
why didn't you go down that field? You have free range of education. By your job. Why didn't you go for your doctorate?
Actually, I'm gonna tell you. Well, this is why. I'm gonna tell you exactly why. I'm gonna be transparent. One, when I first went to school, when I first went to college, I didn't go to college to go to college. I went to play football. That was my thought process. that was my end game was to make it to the NFL. When I transitioned to the military, how I ended up in the field that I'm in now was I'm gonna say God sent, because I was supposed to be a military police, and the day I was literally about to sign my contract, raise my right hand, the lady at the MEPS, I wish I remember her name because I'll tell her thank you. She looked at my college transcript and she was like, "Oh, you went to school for psychology?" I was like, "Yeah." She said, "I got a job for you." I was like, "All right, cool." And she came back. She said, "Okay, you're gonna be a behavioral health technician." I was like, "All right, bet." And that's how I ended up in that field. Why I didn't complete my degree? Fucking retarded. I'm just be honest. I didn't finish my degree
got time
because of
now?
that.
Why
No,
now?
I'm doing it. Oh, trust
Being
me.
in the field.
No, trust me. I'm doing it now. I'm gonna finish that and I'm gonna go get my master's. The only problem is I don't know what I want to get my master's in. That's the only problem. And like, even to be, if I do become a social worker is like so vast. I can work anywhere, but it's like little nuances to it.
But focus on your BS first, your Bachelor of Science.
Oh yeah. No. That's it.
Yeah.
No. I'm already there with that. I got a plan. So,
Yeah.
and that's why I haven't done it. Like, and now looking back at it, if I would have took it serious, hell yeah, I'd have had a doctorate by now.
Okay.
I think you should definitely continue to pursue it. And like you said, your question was, why aren't there more Black men out there that are in that field? And that's a good question. And I was telling T, my cousin is a Black male, and he is a board certified psychiatrist, but he practices out in California.
Okay.
So we do definitely need more Black people and more Black men, because men tend to be able to talk to other men, and open up better than they would talking to a female.
And Rodney said because he gonna be honest and upfront, he did too much partying during college.
Tell Rodney, we don't want to hear what he did during college. He can start that today.
But he's in school now.
And the church say,
Rodney,
amen.
what are you going to school from now? Because I know he's in school now. I don't off top remember what it is, but I know he's in school.
What you got? What you got, Anthony? Anthony?
If I can, I'm gonna take a moment for a shameless plug, because I know this young lady and she also has a couple of Black men that work with her in their office. She's here with me in Inglewood. Her name is Soko Ray. And she does stuff by, Skype and Zoom and all this other type of stuff. But you can find her on Instagram under Your Favorite Therapist, Soko Ray Therapy. Her motto is therapy that's chill as fuck.
Okay.
And
I like that.
she's really good. Your first one, if you however go, is like, I think you get 15 minutes free. And that's a pretty good start, and it's totally you handling yours. You get to talk to her, you get to know her and whatnot.
And she's Black?
Yes, she is.
Okay.
It's her, another Black female, and 2 Black males.
Okay.
So Your Favorite Therapist, Soko Ray Therapy on Instagram.
Jennifer, I'm actually laughing at you for the message you just sent me.
Yeah. So
I do have a question that was posted earlier. He said he's doing business administration. That's from Rodney. One of the comments that was made earlier, and it was made by Nika Pinks. He said, when it comes down to 2 choices, food or medication, which one are you going to pay for?
Oh, that's a good one. So
who do I have to feed? Is it just myself, or do I have other people I need to feed too?
Well, most people have families. Most people are on fixed income. You have to remember that too. Most people are on fixed income. Everybody can't get food stamps.
I understand.
So
and then you also got that goes back to the self-medication piece too. That plays into it. So yeah, okay. And then Yeah.
I don't like. Let me tell you what I don't like. I don't like how they put weed in the self-medication. You know, just right there in that little bit, that little circle.
Wait. Hold on. It's something you said too. You said certain types of weed.
Yes, the
Yeah.
reason I said
Now
that.
it's medicinal.
Good, and that's what I was
Let
getting
me
at.
tell you why. I had a doctor, a psychiatrist that I used to see years ago. He did not like prescribing medication. He was a minority in the United States. He did not like prescribing medication. He ended up leaving that particular job, but before he left, he told me, he said, he gave me a website. He said, these it's nothing but weed. Every strand you could think of at that time was on this website. And he said, specifically for what you go through, this is what you need. He said, if you know people who are going through X, Y, and Z, have these mental illnesses, have them use this before they even think about seeing a doctor and them being prescribed medication to put in their body. He was, for, that type of therapy. We call it self-medicating, but if you look at it now, marijuana, or at least the CBD oil from it, is used in anything from, mental illness to cancer patients.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the THC is what they remove from it because it gives you the euphoria and the high effect. But the actual, what's in the plant itself is being used. And they don't use the word, self-care.
I understand that. But when I say like weed, I'm not talking about that part. I understand they use that. I'm talking about that purple haze and that funky monkey and all that shit. That shit ain't.
We don't know that.
Yeah.
You don't know that. You don't know what it can help with.
All right. Okay. You right.
You don't know that because you ever heard of strawberry cough?
It ain't gonna
help. Heard of that strain?
What's the
You mean I can die if I hit?
The strain is called strawberry cough.
When y'all motherfucking ass be barking at the moon and shit from it,
I'll be up there looking like Smokey in the chicken coop and be
sitting there.
Yeah, me and weed ain't friends. I'm good.
Bobby said weed is from the earth. God put
this here for me and you.
I
So
knew
take advantage.
I knew he was gonna be the one.
Hey, weed is from the earth and so is shit. You gonna take shit?
What?
Weed is from the earth and so is shit. Are you gonna take shit?
Shit is a waste product from the body. It doesn't grow in the ground.
Hey, yes, it does. Shit me.
Shit is not vegan.
Oh my!
He got a point. It's definitely not vegan.
So let me ask you this, honey. You said from this time forward, it should be easier, a better conversation when it comes to mental health.
It should be.
Would you say resources still will play a part in that or not? And the reason why I'm saying that, because listening to some friends I got as a teacher, they were talking about how they were still individuals who didn't have the simple shit like internet, like cell phones, like laptops and shit like that. So do you think that will be like lessened as we move forward?
No. Is technology, was it lessened in the 70s versus now? I don't know, somebody got an echo. I'm not sure what's going on. But no, I think resources are going to become more readily available, as time goes on. If a person can't do anything, the inmates in prison got access to the internet. They got access to, a cell phone or whatever device they use to connect to the internet. There may be people poor Black people in our communities that don't have a computer in their house or a laptop in their house, but most people have a cell phone. And there are still in the inner cities, public places like libraries that have the internet. There's always a way to find resources. I think resources are going to always be readily available. And as time goes and technology changes, it's going to be more readily available. Look at social media. Social media has connected the entire world. So you telling me resources ain't gonna be available 100 years from now.
So now you saying like, so it shouldn't be an excuse now.
I'm saying now it's being put on display. I'm saying 25 years from now, it may not, no, I don't think it may, I don't know, but I don't think it should be an excuse by then. Because we don't know what the world may look like 25 years from now. But what I'm saying, 25 years ago, we didn't have the resources we have now. Now we have the resources, and now we have it on display. What are you trying to show us, Cocoa Butter?
I'm telling you, I agree. I still got my library card. This from Pasadena, this from LA. I'm all for it.
There you go. People can still go to the library and use library computers and have resources. Yes, we as Black people cannot continue to use, the fact that we don't have access to certain things as an excuse. We may not have.
So what about the church then?
What about the church?
They gonna play a part? You think they're gonna play a part? You think
the
they
church
should play a part?
It has played a part since the beginning of time. It's gonna always play a part, especially in the Black community. It's gonna always play a part.
It's a control industry.
Ooh,
They're gonna pray it away.
That's a cuss word right there. All right.
That's another show.
Right, that's what I was about to say. All right, let me write that down. I'm going ahead. All right.
A whole lot of blessed and
hey, check this out. If we can't find Anthony next week, we understand what happened.
Right. There's some person.
They done sent them disciples after you.
Right. So we touched on what mental illness is. We touched on, why it's such a stigma in the Black community. We touched on the damn medication, the therapy, how doctors don't do their job, how they don't care, how we need more Black people in that industry. We've touched. I feel like we've touched on, so much, and we had some dope ass comments from the people who are watching, just to give us some insight on their.
Here's the crazy part. I know we touched on a lot, but that's just the tip of the iceberg, and that's what I want people to understand. We're just starting to peel back the peels of the onion. So don't think just because we're talking about it and we came up with all these ideas. Nah, we want you too to think about it and contribute and shit like that. All right, my bad. Go ahead, honey.
True. But you also have to have a person on the other end to listen, and I'll say that.
Something wrong with your audio.
I'm not. Hold on. But you also have to have a listening ear. If you don't have nobody to listen to you when you're wanting somebody to talk to vent, then it falls on deaf ears or somebody that just don't generally care or understand.
Let me ask you this real quick before we we start going into our closing statements. Want to ask Dury or something. For those of us who don't open up, and for those of us, that, like they said, we want to, we probably need to lay on the couch. Don't do that. Don't put your hand down. Don't do that. Don't start pointing finger. I think you pointed at me too, because when I'm looking at it, I'm not gonna talk about you. For those of us that probably need to lay on the couch and we don't open up. Like, what's a suggestion? Because I don't open up. I'm definitely like a coconut, and that I just don't open up. I have started to teach. I have started to open up, because my girl literally makes me open up. I think I've changed quite a bit.
She makes you,
but I don't like to talk. Well, I'm sorry, what's that?
She makes you do a lot.
So
she does because she loves me.
So, like, for that, my suggestion or thought, or my thought. Okay, I'm not saying suggestion. My thought on that is, sometimes you just got to be like, fuck it, and just do it. And the reason why I say we have to be like that, because it's an internal battle. You need to talk to somebody. You need to discuss, get this shit off your chest. But went through the whole scenarios of how it could come back and bite you, how people gonna look at you, how people gonna feel about you, and all that shit like that. And that's why I said you have to be like, fuck it, and just step out there, because if not, then you're gonna stay on that cycle. Like somebody said, learn your triggers. Even if you know your
Yes.
triggers, even if you know your triggers, it still doesn't help you because I know all my fucking triggers. I know all my triggers, but I still don't talk. Like it's still.
I'm the same way.
I can tell you exactly what my triggers are, and but if I don't make that conscious decision to be like, sit down, like, hey, boo, hey, whoever I'm talking to, I need just listen. Don't say nothing. Just listen. I need to get this off my chest. If I don't make that conscious decision, and it's not just for us too, it's for anybody who's listening who's like this. If you don't make that conscious, then you're gonna stay in that mode. You're gonna stay. And I'm telling you from experience, it's not a good thing. It's not a good thing because when it gets overwhelming, and that's where I get the nickname Hulk from. When it gets overwhelming and you lash out, it's not good. It's not when you blow up or when you release it. It's like a volcano. When you release, it's nothing good. It's something to see. Yeah, it's like awe-inspiring. But when the dust, the damage, it's not good.
Yeah, and I think, and I'll say this as well before we close. As a friend, I can usually tell by my friends' actions and how their behaviors are when something ain't right.
I don't have nothing to fucking say, actually.
Yeah, I can tell. And they'd be like, nothing. I'm like, I'm gonna keep asking you until you tell me what's wrong with you, because I know when something's wrong with you. So
and you know what? And I
answer the question.
And to an extent, that's good. But for me, that annoys the fuck out of me and pisses me off even more.
Welcome to being annoyed.
And that right there is just like, yeah, nah.
Because all y'all is a pain in my butt. All y'all. So I can tell when something wrong with y'all. Because y'all be a pain in my butt, I can be a pain in y'all.
I don't think that's true, but
I only say it because I love you. Well, she done wiped off her soul glow.
Now, somebody just put, if you know your triggers and they can be avoided, and you decide to keep subjecting yourself, that's something totally different. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is true.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
I know people that are triggers, and I'd be like, ooh. And just FYI, your parents
can be fucking triggers. They absolutely can. That's another whole. We're not even gonna go into tonight.
Like, that's another day. We're gonna get triggers on the next episode. We're gonna hit them triggers because some of y'all don't know. Family members can be triggers. Them church folks can be triggers.
Parents can be triggers.
I like the church folks. Church folks are funner than me. I really do. I like them.
We're gonna talk about that on another topic because that's gonna
we'll
go
do that on the next
somewhere
episode.
else.
So, yes, Anthony.
No, I'm sorry. I was taking it to church on that one.
That was the church finger. Oh, okay.
My bad.
You know, that is actually a slave gesture, though. Mm-hmm. But we're not gonna go into that tonight.
I didn't know that.
Yes, we'll talk about that in the after party.
Let that go.
Yeah, it is. So, Miss Honey, you want to go ahead and start with your outro tonight?
Rodney has something to say.
Yeah. What are you saying?
Y'all roll out. One thing we have to keep in mind is trust. That is very serious, and taking the time to develop interpersonal communication. That is exactly right, Rodney. Because I know I have my squad, and it's levels. I got levels. Everybody don't know.
Yeah.
Levels to me, and everybody don't know my shit. Because people will turn that or flip it and use it against you. So everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. They will. Absolutely.
You said what?
My closing statements will be, like Dario say, his slogan, I'm gonna keep it transparent. And Rodney touched on that interpersonal communication. I don't like to communicate. I'm not a communicator. I shut down quickly, and I got this wall up. So for me, part of my self-help for my mental health is learning to let people help me instead of assuming they can't help me or they don't want to deal with my issues or they got their own problems. They don't touch me. You know, that's just me. I'm going to say it to, you know, you guys and to anybody who's watching, allow people to help you. I don't like help, but definitely
get your cup and drink that. Let people help you drink. I need you to drink it.
Well, you know, I have a couple people in my life that don't give me a choice to be helped, you know. But, you know, I ain't going to point no fingers or call out April Renee like that. But, you know, I'm just saying, like I said, let people help you. What you got to say, Aunt?
Because he over there having a whole moment. I this feel like a chick moment.
You all right, Anthony?
Oh, okay. Hey, I thought my audio went out. It just,
I know, honey, showing emotion. It's everybody else.
I can't see it.
Well, you're speaking, sir, and we can hear you.
We can hear you.
But I can't see because honey doing this, the thing doing this on her screen.
Oh, well.
Oh, that's okay.
Honey. Well, go ahead and get your outro, sir.
Hey, really appreciate being here in this place with you all. I hope you guys learned a lot. I learned a lot. Thanks to you, Rodney. I really appreciate you. And then Miss Pinky, Big Pink Dog, she was in the comments earlier, you know, with some up close and personal, this is how it is type of vibe. And I just think that, you know, just remember, be understanding and and keep being you. I'm done. I am totally missing this.
DW.
Winchester.
First and foremost, I want to give a shout out to the school that made me, Morris Brown.
Who made that?
They made you that rubber band shirt.
Hey! I got it in Korea. They said, leave me alone.
They don't have a size 5X in Korea.
And I want to pull it back like a rubber band and pop the shit out of you.
Hey, y'all messing up my thing. I'm trying to give a shout out to them. They just got their accreditation back, so represent Morris Brown. First and foremost, I want to say when it comes to
you out here triggering people. You fucking with people's mental health. Listen, we got viewers out here. I'm
gonna let that slide.
That shirt is triggering them.
You don't even know who it was.
Turn your camera off and do your outro. Because we don't need nobody being triggered.
That's better.
He gonna come get y'all.
Hey, that's better.
Oh shit, rubber band shirt.
All right, I'm finna finish my outro so I could deal with y'all in the after party. But on a serious note, as we continue to make this journey dealing with mental health and dealing with each other in the Black community, one, we have to be patient because it's not gonna happen overnight. It's not gonna happen in the next few years. So we have to be patient with it. Two, we have to be understanding because just because one person hurts one way doesn't mean somebody else is not hurting.
That's true.
And just because you don't see that pain doesn't mean their pain is not equivalent to yours. So we have to be understanding and patient with each other. And two, and the last point is reach out for the resources. Like I said earlier, we're just hitting the tip of the iceberg. There's a lot more we have to deal with when it comes to mental health in the Black community. So again, reach out for help. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to say, hey, I'm hurting. Don't be afraid to reach out to that brother, that sister, that mother, that father. Unless they're a trigger, then it's something different. All right, and on that note, I'm out.
All right, thank you guys. So, as everybody stated, definitely do not be ashamed to ask, seek help. Um, Mental health is a thing, a real thing, and there's nothing wrong with getting help for it. Granted, sometimes the resources may be hidden up under a rock or hidden in a book, but do your best to reach out and find something. There's always something there. I know I had to search quite a bit, as um, Anthony stated, Honey stated, with my son being diagnosed with autism, because it's like you get that diagnosis and it's like, what's next?
Mhm.
It's there. It's like a needle in a haystack, but it's there. Um, I would also suggest, for anybody that watches Grey's Anatomy, there was always a part with Meredith always and her best friend saying, "She's my person. Find you a person."
That's
For
a heavy
those
burden.
families, like, find you a person that you know that you trust and you can talk to, that you can is they gonna listen to you. If you need that feedback, they can give you feedback, direction, whatever, but find your person or people. If you can find some people, but definitely find your person. So we thank y'all tonight commenting, um, and giving feedback on the show. We greatly appreciate y'all for supporting us. And
Absolutely.
until next week, we don't know what next week's topic is yet, but we will post it and keep y'all posted. The week after that, we will come back talking back on mental health. We definitely wanted to kind of spread that out, because we know it can be a trigger and it can be overwhelming when talking about mental health.
Right.
Somebody made a comment. Empty can't pour into empty, and make sure your personal can give as much as they take. Good show tonight, y'all. Thank you for that. I
Appreciate you.
appreciate that, and that is very good information. Yeah, empty cup can't pour into an empty cup. That's just two empty cups. So again, thank y'all so much. Somebody said we love you, Duriel.
And his
Y'all
tight
make
shirt.
sure y'all support Duriel's new clothing line. Tight shirt don't fit.
Y'all ain't shit. Y'all
Clothing
fucking with my
line.
mental health. Y'all fucking with me now. See, y'all fucking with my mental health. Wait till we get off.
That
Wait till we
goddamn
get off.
shirt
Get
coming
all
with your
y'all.
mental health. It's too damn tight. Probably cutting off your
Hey,
oxygen supply.
wait till we get. Let's end the show, because y'all being unprofessional right now. Y'all being unprofessional.
Oh shit.
Boy, I'm skipping
All
the
right,
after
y'all.
party tonight. But thank y'all again. See y'all next week. Same night, same time.
Holla.